Have you ever felt like you're just fighting an uphill battle, even when, deep down you've got the talent?
Or maybe you've seen people who seem to just glide towards their goals,
Right.
almost effortlessly.
Yeah, exactly. While others, despite really trying, they just seem to struggle constantly.
It's a really common feeling, that sense of some invisible force either holding you back or, well, pushing others forward.
Absolutely. And today, that's exactly what we're diving into. We're looking at Dr. Maxwell Maltz's work, the new Psycho-Cybernetics.
And this isn't just like another self-help book with nice ideas.
No, not at all. It's presented as a more scientific, practical approach. It's genuinely shifted things for millions of people.
Right. And Dr. Maltz's own journey to these ideas is pretty fascinating. He started out as a plastic surgeon.
A plastic surgeon. Okay, that's not what I expected.
Yeah, and he started noticing something kind of profound with his patients. He could, surgically fix a scar or reshape a nose.
But the inside didn't always match the outside change.
Exactly. The physical change didn't automatically mean more happiness or confidence inside.
Wow. So people got a new face. But like he said, they still wore the same old personality.
That's the phrase he used. And even stranger, some patients would insist their appearance hadn't changed at all.
Like the phantom limb thing he mentioned, where someone feels a limb that isn't there.
Precisely. It was that striking similarity that really sparked his thinking. It was a huge aha moment for him.
So his medical work led him to psychology.
It led him to realize the massive, often unseen power of our internal self-perception. The inner image, he figured, was way more important than the outer one.
Okay, so that's our mission today then. We're going to unpack these core ideas from Psycho-Cybernetics.
Show you how these practical kind of scientific techniques can help you understand and maybe reshape your self-image.
And activate that automatic success mechanism he talks about. Really unlock your potential.
Get ready for some potentially big insights here, things that might shortcut your way to feeling more informed and empowered.
Okay, so Maltz saw this disconnect. What was the single most crucial discovery he pointed to? The thing that bridged that gap?
Well, it all boiled down to what he called the self-image.
The self-image.
Yeah, he actually called it the most important psychological discovery of his time. And, for good reason, it's your internal blueprint.
Like a mental map.
Kind of. A picture of the sort of person I am, and it's mostly unconscious, built up from, well, everything. Past experiences, successes, failures.
How people reacted to you, especially when you were young.
Exactly. And once an idea about yourself gets lodged in that blueprint, it just becomes your truth. You act on it like it's totally real.
So it's almost like this hidden operating system running our lives. You mentioned a thermostat analogy.
That's a great way to put it. Just like a thermostat keeps a room at a set temperature, your self-image controls what you think you can or can do.
Makes sense. What feels easy, what feels hard.
Even how others seem to respond to you. Your actions, your feelings, your behavior, they always line up with this self-image.
Which explains why just using willpower often feels like pushing a rock uphill.
Totally. It's a losing battle if the underlying image hasn't shifted. That's why Maltz said self-image management is the answer.
Right. So this self-image is the core. People like Prescott Leckie saw personality as this system of consistent ideas around that core.
Precisely. If an idea comes along that doesn't fit your self-image, your mind just sort of rejects it, doesn't believe it.
Like the F-type student Maltz mentioned. They get bad grades because unconsciously, it fits their picture of themselves.
Yeah, or the salesperson who expects to fail and then, well, their experiences seem to prove them right. It becomes a self-fulfilling loop.
What really struck me was his idea of imaginary ugliness. Patients who still saw flaws even after successful surgery.
It's powerful, isn't it? He told that heartbreaking story of Ellen, the 15-year-old with anorexia.
Oh, right. Who insisted she looked fat but weighed only 82 pounds. Her self-image was just completely distorted.
It's a chilling example, yeah. Shows how these mental and emotional scars can be just as debilitating, sometimes more so than physical ones.
But here's the hopeful part.
Yes. This is absolutely key for you listening. The self-image can be changed. You're never too young or too old. It's not set in stone.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Maltz says humans, unlike animals with their fixed instincts, have creative imagination.
Right. We're not just hardwired. He said we operate with software and can continually alter our output. It's a huge difference.
So what can we do with this creative imagination? How does it help?
Well, that is the ignition key. It fires up what he called our automatic success mechanism, or ASM.
ASM, okay.
Think of it like a built-in guidance system, like an internal GPS or maybe a guided torpedo. It automatically steers you toward a target.
Using what? How does it know where to go?
It uses all your stored information, your memories, experiences, and crucially, your self-image to solve problems and get you to your goals.
Okay, so let me see if I've got this formula right. You make a conscious decision.
Yep. Step one.
Then your imagination vividly paints a picture of that goal, communicates it to your self-image.
Which then basically issues a work order to this internal servo mechanism, the ASM.
It sounds like a really elegant system, but why is imagination the crucial link here?
Because, and get this, your nervous system cannot tell the difference between an actual experience and one that is vividly imagined.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's not just like a nice thought. It's presented as a biological reality, the basis for some really powerful mental training.
That makes so much sense then. You can literally practice success in your mind. Like Jack Nicklaus, the golfer.
The gold mare, yeah.
He never hit a shot without first seeing it in his head. The flight, the landing, the swing.
He called it his going to the movies discipline. He played a mental movie first.
That's incredible. And it's not just for sports, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Maltz talked about sales professionals who did regular role-playing, vividly imagining different sales situations.
And it worked.
Apparently, it boosted sales dramatically, like 100 to 400% increases. Because they mentally rehearsed, they just knew what to say and what to do when the real situation came up.
So they were building those successful pathways in their brain beforehand.
Exactly. Creating that internal blueprint for success. It's not just wishful thinking.
It's actively creating new memories through visualization.
Yeah.
Building a new self-image that way.
Precisely. Maltz even suggests a simple exercise. Imagine sitting in front of a big movie screen in your mind.
Okay.
And play a movie of yourself performing exactly how you want to. Vividly, in detail, over and over.
And doing that actually builds new memories.
That's the idea. It builds a new self-image, which then leads to more automatic, spontaneous new behaviors in real life. You're actively training your guidance system.
Okay, that leads us to another really critical point, our beliefs.
Right.
Especially the negative ones.
Right. Things like, I can't do that, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't deserve success.
Maltz saw those not as facts, but as what self-hypnosis.
Yeah, basically. Forms of self-hypnosis, where you've somehow convinced yourself these limiting ideas are true. He pointed to how people under actual hypnosis could do surprising things if the hypnotist convinced them they could.
So if we hypnotized ourselves into these beliefs, can we dehypnotize ourselves out of them?
Absolutely. That's the good news. You can use rational thought to challenge and dismantle them.
Does that mean years of therapy digging up the past?
Not necessarily. Maltz tells that funny story about the executive who hated green beans since childhood.
Oh, yeah. He just decided to try them again as an adult and liked them.
Exactly. Sometimes it's that simple. Challenge the old assumption. Maltz famously said, "It may be perfectly okay to let sleeping dogs lie. You don't always need to find the root cause."
That ties into the idea of forgetfulness too, doesn't it? Forgetting errors.
Yes, crucially. Once you recognize an error and correct it, Maltz stressed the importance of consciously forgetting the mistake and dwelling on the successful attempts instead.
Like Otto Graham, the quarterback.
The Cleveland Browns legend, yeah. He said the most vital trait for a great receiver was a damn short memory.
You drop a pass, you forget it instantly, focus on the next catch.
Exactly. Give your mind a clean slate. And Bertrand Russell, the philosopher, had a method for this too.
In The Conquest of Happiness.
Right. He suggested identifying irrational beliefs, really looking at how absurd they are, and then replacing them with vivid, strong, rational beliefs. Don't let the negative ones go unchallenged.
Actively fight back mentally.
Yeah. And Maltz gave us some really practical questions to ask ourselves to challenge those negative beliefs.
Okay, what are they?
First, is there any rational reason for this belief? Second, could it be that I'm mistaken here?
Good ones. What else?
Third, would I reach the same negative conclusion about someone else in my situation? Often the answer is no.
Ah, that's insightful. We're harder on ourselves.
Usually, yeah. And fourth, if there's no good reason to believe this negative thing, why should I keep acting and feeling as if it were true?
Those are powerful questions. They really force you to examine the foundation, or lack thereof, for these limiting beliefs.
Right. It helps you see that many limits are self-imposed. Maltz had a great motto for this. It ain't necessarily so.
I like that.
You don't have to just blindly accept negative suggestions, whether they come from others or, more often, from yourself. Your conscious mind's job is to filter, accept truth, reject untruth.
Okay, so we can challenge beliefs.
Yeah.
But what about past hurts? Maltz talks about emotional scars.
Yeah, many of us carry those around. Past failures, criticisms, rejections. They can form a kind of spiritual callus or an emotional wall.
For self-protection, right, like Zig Ziglar's story about the cat.
Exactly. The cat burns its paws on a hot stove, then avoids the stove, but eventually avoids the whole kitchen.
So we end up avoiding situations or maybe lashing out because of old wounds long after the threat is gone.
That's the pattern. But here's another really powerful insight, this one from Dr. Gene Lundrum.
What's that?
He said, self-image is not set in plaster, it is set in putty.
Putty, not plaster. I love that.
Isn't it great? It means you're never too old, never too hurt, never too traumatized. You can always reshape your self-image. It's incredibly hopeful.
That really is liberating.
Yeah.
So how did Maltz suggest we sort of immunize ourselves against these emotional hurts then?
He had prescriptions, right?
He did. 3 main ones. First, be too big to feel threatened.
Meaning?
People with shaky self-esteem get easily offended by small things. But if you build a strong, healthy ego based on genuine self-esteem, you can ignore minor slights. You heal faster from bigger wounds, too. You just have, as he put it, bigger fish to fry.
Okay, bigger fish to fry. Got it. What's number 2?
Second, take responsibility for your responses.
Yeah.
How you react to things is ultimately up to you. You don't have to get upset or feel hurt.
You can choose not to respond or to respond differently.
Exactly. Own your emotional reaction. It puts you back in control.
And the third one?
Develop self-reliance. People who are overly dependent emotionally are the most vulnerable to getting hurt.
So cultivate independence. And crucially, cultivate a need to give love and appreciation rather than constantly seeking it from others. That shift strengthens your core.
That makes sense. It makes you less reliant on external validation.
Precisely. Which brings up this idea of the critic within. Dr. Mary Elaine Jacobson called it the false self.
Those negative voices in our heads, the sharp-tongued admonitions.
Yeah, the ones that keep us small, keep us from being our true selves. As Jacobson wrote, magically, when there is no enemy within, there are far fewer without.
Wow. Deal with the internal critic first.
And a huge part of that is self-acceptance, truly acknowledging your unique mix of strengths and weaknesses.
Not comparing yourself to some impossible artificial standard.
Exactly. Maltz used the tragic example of Karen Carpenter and anorexia, a devastating outcome of a distorted self-image and lack of self-acceptance. It's a vital reminder. You are not your mistakes.
You might have made a mistake, but it doesn't define you.
Absolutely. And this connects to Dr. Paul Stoltz's research on AQ adversity quotient.
Okay, what's that?
He found that people with high AQ, people who bounce back well, like Elizabeth Taylor or Christopher Reeve,
Right.
they don't tend to blame themselves or others when things go wrong, and they see problems as temporary and limited, not all-encompassing disasters.
And those traits line up with Maltz's success personality.
Perfectly. It's all about resilience and perspective, which stem from a healthier self-image.
This really points towards unlocking your true personality, which Maltz said isn't acquired from outside.
But released from within.
Yeah. That excessive worry about what others think, he called it others' consciousness that can really stifle you.
Lead to inhibition, like stuttering or stage fright.
It can. James Mangan, that salesman, cured his self-consciousness by deciding to act just like he did when he was relaxed at home, eating in the kitchen with Ma and Pa.
Just be himself, regardless of the audience.
Yeah. And think about Jennifer Capriati, the tennis player. Her big comeback happened when she finally stopped caring what people thought and stopped believing negative things about herself. It really does come down to your own opinion of yourself, doesn't it?
As Maltz's own mother apparently taught him, your opinion of yourself matters most of all.
Okay, so how do we actively cultivate this success, this serenity in our day-to-day lives? Maltz talked about do-it-yourself tranquilizers.
Right. He explained that relaxation is basically nature's tranquilizer. Think about Pavlov's dog conditioned to respond.
We get conditioned too, right? To respond with stress to certain triggers.
We do. But the amazing thing is you can extinguish those conditioned responses
Oh.
by consciously not responding in the old way or even just delaying your response. He told the story of Mary S., who was terrified of crowds.
What did she do?
She learned to just delay her urge to panic and flee, telling herself, I can refuse to obey this feeling for just 2 minutes, and it worked.
because relaxation and anxiety can't coexist.
Exactly. He stated it pretty definitively. You absolutely cannot feel angry, fearful, anxious, insecure, unsafe, as long as your muscles remain perfectly relaxed. Relaxation creates a kind of psychic shield.
That's powerful. And related to this, he suggested creating a mental quiet room.
Yeah, or a decompression chamber in your mind, a place you can vividly imagine and retreat to anytime.
To clear your head, prevent stress spillover.
Exactly, like the executive who brought work worries home. This gives you a mental reset button. Think of the Olympic diver Greg Louganis.
Right, mentally rehearsing dives over and over.
Clearing the calculator, he called it, to achieve total focus. It's about creating that mental space.
Which then helps us turn crisis into opportunity, right?
Yes. The word crisis, its root means decisiveness. But often in a crisis, we get overmotivated, which can jam the system.
Narrow our thinking, like Dr. Tolman's rat experiments.
Right, or even fire drills where people panic and forget the escape route. We get stuck in rigid, unhelpful responses.
So how do we avoid that mental gridlock? Maltz suggested shadowboxing.
Yeah, mentally practicing the correct responses without the actual pressure or inhibiting factors being present.
Like a salesperson rehearsing objection handling, or a surgeon practicing on a cadaver.
Exactly. It builds a broader, more flexible mental map for your ASM to use when the real pressure is on.
And we can also reframe the feeling, right? Turn anxiety into excitement.
That's a great technique. Both Johnny Carson and the speaker Cavett Robert did this. Robert famously said,
Oh, the butterfly quote, don't try to get rid of the butterflies in your stomach.
just get them to fly in formation.
Yeah.
Channel that energy instead of letting it paralyze you.
And for handling worry, Bertrand Russell's technique, confronting the worst.
Ask yourself seriously, what is the absolute worst that can possibly happen? Really face it.
And that diminishes its power.
Often, yes. It lets your mind process the fear, see it realistically, and then move forward, sometimes even with a sense of, well, exhilaration because the fear is faced.
Okay, all these techniques seem geared towards cultivating what Maltz called that winning feeling.
Right. Remember, your internal servo mechanism, your ASM, it needs a goal. It's teleological goal striving.
So the winning feeling isn't the cause of success.
More like a symptom, a sign, a confirmation that your internal machinery is locked onto a success target. It's geared for success.
And the amazing thing is, you can actually trigger that feeling deliberately.
Yes. Maltz says you do it by recalling past successes, even small ones, unimportant ones.
And really relive them vividly. The details, the feeling.
Exactly. Feel that past success fully. Then mentally weld that feeling onto your imagined future goals. He gives examples like Dr. Carey Middlecoff winning the Masters.
Or J.C. father instilling belief in him. Right. Or Maltz's own story of overcoming public speaking fears.
It's about accessing that success state and linking it to what you want to achieve now.
So you build a habit of success.
Through small victories, yeah. Like Fred DeLuca, Subway's founder, starting with make pennies first.
Or that printing sales rep starting his day with easy, friendly calls.
Those small, consistent wins build real faith and confidence for bigger challenges. They reinforce that internal winning feeling, making it more accessible next time.
This has been incredible. We've really unpacked how your self-image acts as this powerful, often unconscious guide.
And how you can consciously direct it. Using imagination, using rational thought, using deliberate practice like mental rehearsal.
From dehypnotizing yourself from old false beliefs.
To actively cultivating that winning feeling. These aren't just nice ideas. They're presented as practical, almost scientific techniques.
Putting you back in the driver's seat of your own potential.
And, it connects to broader ideas, too. Dr. Hans Selye's research on adaptation energy, this idea of a fundamental life force.
Influencing healing, vitality.
Maltz argued that positive mental states, the kind fostered by Psycho-Cybernetics, actually help you tap into that life force, potentially making you feel biologically younger, more resilient.
He encouraged developing a nostalgia for the future.
Yeah, by always having meaningful goals you're actively pursuing, that keeps the success mechanism engaged and moving forward.
Ultimately, this whole deep dive into Psycho-Cybernetics really drives home the idea that you are, in fact, engineered for success.
It reminds me of that quote from Dr. Frank G. Slaughter. You cannot believe yourself the image of God, deeply and sincerely, with full conviction, and not receive a new source of strength and power. There's immense power in that core belief.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Consider Maltz's observation about his patient, Gene Sanders.
Oh, right. The woman with muscular dystrophy who could still walk and drive.
He said it was, because of the muscle strength of her self-image, which cannot be so readily seen or medically evaluated.
So the provocative question for you is, what unseen muscle strength lies within your own self-image that you haven't fully realized or started using yet?
Think about that. What potential is waiting inside you, ready to be activated?